Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 12th April 2017. The first article, No Place for Scholarship. This article talks about need for quality resources in education sector in India. In this article, it clearly states that there are two major challenges to the higher education. One is quality, the second is access. If quality has to be increased, qualified resources shall be available. And access to the higher education shall be made to women, marginalized sections, etc. So in this, the MPhil courses and PhD courses, they help the people to pursue original research. So, government has to actively encourage these courses to address the problems of faculty deficit across the universities. Unlike this, the present decision of the UGC to restrict the number of people a professor can guide is ultimately going to impact the access and also the quality of the research which is to be taken up in India. So the second article is Pivot to the India Pacific. It is about the recent visit of Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and also Mr. Malcolm Turnbull, Australian Prime Minister, to India. So with regard to Bangladesh, there are certain important agreements which are signed. One is MOU in the defense sector, which allows for high-level visits. There are concerns in India that Bangladesh is moving closely on defense matters with the China. So in this context, India has offered $500 million of line of credit on defense procurements for Bangladesh, and Bangladesh need not to procure the same value goods from India. So, it is the confidence Indians have kept on the Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And added to that, $4.5 billion of line of credit is also been offered. And it will be spent on connectivity to improve the existing ports, Chittagong port and other ports in Bangladesh. So, by and large, the relations with Bangladesh are very encouraging. And land boundary agreement is remarkable of all this. Bangladesh and relations with it are very much important for for the Northeast India. And also Bangladesh is a connect between India and Southeast Asia. And Bangladesh has taken action against the terror groups active in the Northeast like Ulfa and National Democratic Front of Bodoland. Coming to the Australia, it clearly shows the expanded scope of India's operations. And Prime Minister Turnbull has clearly stated that India has to expand its role in Indo-Pacific. They have issued a joint statement of South China Sea where they have expressed for the need to have freedom of navigation and overflight, unimpeded trade, etc. So in this context, they also have come forward to take up joint military exercises, that is AS Index 2018. So Australia and India exercises. And the next is, one thing which is pending between these countries is seek a comprehensive economic cooperation agreement. Once it has been completed, it is also expected that the trade will boost between these countries. Risky, ill-considered. This is about Pakistan military court giving death punishment to Mr. Kulbhushan Jadhav. So, I'm not getting into the details of the case over here. Let us understand that internationally, every agreement talks about free and fair trial for every individual, irrespective of the crimes he is involved with. So, did Mr. Jadhav, did he get the free and fair trial is the question. He was court-martialed. And second is, the relations between India and Pakistan are already on a downward turn. And if these conditions go like this, they are expected to worsen further. And the third dimension is, lack of proper communication channel between India and Pakistan and rigid positioning between two countries is complicating the existing matters. So these are the 3 points which we need to take a note in this particular scenario. And coming to a prolonged protest, it is about the protest in Kashmir. If you take 1996 situation and today, definitely the situation has improved. In the last general elections, which are being fought on the developmental agenda, the voter turnout was very high. But after the death of Mr. Burhan Wani, the situation got worsened in Kashmir. So in this context, Election Commission has ordered for a by-election in Anantnag and Srinagar, which has finally turned to be a nightmare and where the voter turnout is very less. So in this context, it needs to be understood that the Kashmir has an unsettled unrest which need to be seriously taken a look by the center and the state governments. Let's go to the open-end page. I see India heading towards a disaster by Farooq Abdullah. So let's not get into the issues over here. Let's try to talk about the concept. Article 370 of the Constitution provides for special status to Jammu and Kashmir, and also to an extent it provides autonomy to the Kashmir. But however, Article 370 was diluted over a period of time after independence, and the major demand of the Kashmiris and all the political parties over there is to bring the Article 370 to its original plight. And second is, here Mr. Farooq Abdullah talks about the role of diversity. India's principle of unity in diversity is its secure card for its development. So the path for development to India lies in its unity in diversity, and that's why the constitutional forefathers repeatedly stressed on secularism and also a path for economic equality. And the Article 370 and autonomy demands, he emphasizes them. And with regard to the autonomy in Kashmir, he clearly states that, or with regard to the Kashmir issue, he clearly states that India and Pakistan shall start an engagement to find a solution to this problem. So these are the three things which are being highlighted by him. The clever Hans effect. What does that mean? In research, we generally use this term. Now, there may be some unintelligible biases of us which might be directing a particular subject into a particular direction. So, every time when you make a research design, we need to eliminate these unintelligible biases which can be directive to the particular individual, to the subject in the research. That is what is called clever Hans effect. Now coming to the news. HIV law promises equality. You know that HIV and AIDS Prevention and Control Act is been passed by the Parliament. So in this bill, there are two things which are being promised to them. One is access to treatment and then equality to various opportunities. Equality to educational opportunities and jobs, all these are promised to the people living with HIV and AIDS. So that's why it can be stated as a progressive law. And then UNICEF seeks help from Islamic bodies to achieve vaccination goal. So vaccination for all is also affected due to the religious beliefs. So in this case, UNICEF is talking about or reaching out to various religious beliefs to achieve this universal immunization goal. Now, today my Microsoft Word has a problem, so I was unable to type the notes. And so there are also much important news are missing in this particular newspaper. So just 7 minutes or 8 minutes video I was able to make. Sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you very much.